Let me ask you about the preparedness of businesses then. I mean, you run this hotel business, operates in the UK, operates in Ireland, and you're expanding at this point. How ready for Brexit are you?
Well, good morning and welcome to beautiful sunny Dublin, even though it's a little bit chilly this morning. I suppose the problem with all of this is that there's a lot of noise, and businesses have to work through that, and businesses cannot respond immediately to every little piece of news. So the key thing for most businesses is to make sure they don't become paralysed by political events, and understanding what needs to be done is pretty critical for us, because if you look at the issues, and it all hinges around essentially the Good Friday Agreement, and we have a process in place which has been going on in Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland for a number of years, and nobody wants to allow anything to derail that. So that's where the key issues lie, and that is where the key issues will have to be resolved. Yeah,
so crucially still around the border and how that impact, how the prospect of any customs checks would impact on that Good Friday Agreement. We spend a lot of time talking, understandably, about that, but you're in the services industry, and we don't spend a lot of time talking about the services industry and Brexit. Is that an oversight?
It is and it isn't. I suppose the services industry are much more protected in many ways because of the ability to manoeuvre our way into other areas of business. If you look at the Irish context, like, we essentially have almost two economies, where we have our food and agri business and our drinks business, which will be the most severely hit in the event of a hard Brexit. And then you have the services industries, of which, if you look out behind you, we are overlooking Google Docs, as we call it here, or
Silicon Docs.
And essentially we have very large industries in the services sector which won't be impacted quite the same way. And what you'll find in Ireland is, in the event of a hard Brexit, urban areas will probably tend to do better and rural areas will struggle. And that is the real big challenge for us.
And that's because they rely on their agri-business and other things. And we heard a little from the Finance Minister yesterday about the amount of money they want to make available to cushion those communities, cushion the businesses that could be very affected. Is there anything else that Dublin could be doing in terms of self-help measures?
Well, at this point in time, it's very difficult, because we don't quite know what we're planning for. And again, in the business world, unless you have a very clear view on what you're trying to plan for, it is very difficult to make any decisions, because invariably they'll be the wrong ones. And what we would encourage businesses not to allow themselves to become paralysed by, by the events that are happening.
Yeah.
So that is the real challenge.
Yeah, certainly a lot of uncertainty still around what happens here, with just 3 weeks and a day, I think it is, to go until the end of October.